A year ago, pet ordinances went into place in Longview. The changes deal with rabies vaccinations, spay and neuter rules, and microchipping. KLTV7's Katie Parker brings us more on how it's going from the people dealing with the changes firsthand.
The ordinance it's a stepping stone into the right direction.
On February 1st, 2025, new pet ordinances went into effect in Longview. These amendments require owned cats and dogs within city limits must get rabies shots with vaccinations at least every 3 years, must be microchipped, and mandatory spay and neuter for all dogs and cats 6 months or older, unless the owner has an intact pet permit. Animal Control Supervisor Sailor Knox says these changes have increased the workload of those in the field.
In the past year, we've returned 171 dogs back in the field without ever having to touch the shelter because of microchips and things. And we've had over 200 people in compliance just from communicating this process. 25% of our workload has simply been just following up to make sure that those rabies vaccines are given, microchips are given, the spay and neuters are taking place.
Longview Animal Care and Adoption Center Executive Director Jenna says while it may take some time to see the true data of these ordinances, there is one in particular that is already making a change.
The biggest impact we are actually readily seeing is the microchipping portion. Animals getting returned to their owners because they're microchipped. We're seeing more animals walking in the door already microchipped. We're able to contact an owner and get them back home.
Knox says community reaction has been helpful.
We rarely have a problem. People go to their appointments, they get the business done, and they come home and we're able to move on to the next pile of calls.
And those who work in other Texan regions say Longview is barking up the right tree.
And I've worked a large majority of Texas, not every county, but enough to say I can't name them all. And you see differences for many reasons. Ordinances like this, I think those are steps forward in doing what's best for the animal while helping the people too.
Katie Parker, KLTV7 News.
Longview Animal Care and Adoption Center says they're happy to answer any questions about the ordinances and provide tips on affordable ways to meet these new laws. For more information, you can scan the QR code you see right there on your screen or go to kltv.com and you saw it right there. Click on the big red box.
Colorado-based